Our guest gardener, Allison, is going to tell us about this native wildflower blooming in Zone 7, orange spotted jewelweed. It will provide an attractive color for your rain garden, along a pond, or a wet meadow. Over to you, Allison.
All right, thanks, Linda, and everyone. It's going to be a great session today. So our little guest plant for today is orange jewelweed, as Linda said. Impatiens capensis is the scientific name. Now, unlike most of the ones that we've covered in these sessions, this one's actually an annual. It's not a perennial, but it's not an annual in the sense that you have to go buy new ones every year. It's an annual that will reseed itself. It gets to be about 3 to 5 feet tall. You can see on the picture here, the shrub, it's kind of a shrubby look with the smaller flowers. And the next slide will show you kind of what that flower looks like close up. This one is found naturally in the lower 48 states. It's native. It's found in moist soil, so you'll find it in forests, stream banks, bogs. It will do part shade to full shade, medium to wet soil, and it's fine with clay. So it's really well suited for where we are, particularly because a lot of us have shade, a lot of us have medium or wet soils, and most of us have clay. So it's really nicely suited for this area. This one will flower in the midsummer. It'll continue flowering until the frost. So it goes quite a good long time. And the flowers are kind of a yellow and orange with dark splotches. So I'll show you on the next slide what that looks like. So there you can see in the photo from the North Carolina State Extension, a close-up of the flower. And it's a little hard to tell in this photo, but it kind of has a yellow interior and more of an orange exterior, and then those really bright, vibrant red spots. Now, this one can be either your best friend or possibly a nightmare, depending on what your garden is like and where you want to put it. It will prolifically self-seed, and the reason that could be good is if you are trying to maybe outcompete some other weeds in your garden. So things like garlic mustard, which are not blooming now, they were blooming just a little while ago, but those are super prolific, hard to get rid of. Well, this plant will actually compete for the same resources and help choke out some of that. It's also good for any area in your yard that's damp, shady, where you get a lot of weeds. Maybe you're having a harder time growing things that you want to grow. So once you've seeded it in the fall, once you've started it, it will maintain itself by self-seeding. But the thing you have to know about this little guy is that it's also in the family of touch-me-nots. And the reason it's called a touch-me-not is because if you touch it, these seed pods inside, there's like 5 of them, they explode and they send seeds everywhere. So if you are looking for a place to put a plant that you want to be well-behaved, to not self-seed, to not spread, if you're worried about this coming up everywhere, this is probably not the plant for you or your spot. So just know that it's a competitor. I think Washington State calls it a noxious weed. I think that's kind of rude. I think it's just a very successful plant. So it really depends on what you're looking for and where you need it. Another nice thing about this one is there's no serious insect or disease problems, and it is deer resistant, which is a big deal for a lot of people. It will attract hummingbirds. It has that long kind of bloom where the hummingbird beak can get right down in there, but it also attracts bees and butterflies. So it's absolutely a great plant for pollinators in our gardens. And if you want to know more about this little guy, you can look at the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. The link is up there, and also the North Carolina State Extension. But really any website that talks about native plants will have this one in there. So it's quite well known and popular. So there it is. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Allison. What a lovely plant. And it's nice that the bright orange colors last through frost. What a good choice for your pollinating garden and to attract those hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies that you mentioned.